Rhoda was, like most of us, a victorious loser. She thought of herself as a loser, but she kept at the game. She kept in the game of life fully. She had a marvelous sense of humor. Remember, the greatest comedy writers in the world were writing jokes for her. But the character had a sense of humor. And I used to say to Jim, well, this joke, am I making this joke or is Rhoda? He said to Jim, just tell her that it's Rhoda, and then she'll just, we want you to pump that joke out, but it's Rhoda doing it. So it was kind of a joke backstage that Valerie didn't want to be doing a joke with my pure New York theater background, but just say that Rhoda's making the joke. So Rhoda was a very funny person with a funny point of view. She was also, I think kids loved her, and what made her funny was that she would say the unsayable, and it was a nice juxtaposition to Mary, who was a perfect lady. And I remember one show in particular, Ted Baxter, the wonderful Ted Knight, brought in something he'd written and said, and you girls, you both read this, what do you think? And Mary said, well, Ted, it's interesting, and it has and then he said, oh, Rhoda, what do you think? And Rhoda says, Ted, that was the worst thing it's the worst thing I ever read in my life. I mean, and a huge laugh, but that was she would say things in a New York, brash, no edit way that's funny. And I think that was part of her charm. She also was terribly insecure. And a dear friend of mine, Nicole Barth, who I danced with on Broadway, met her the same time I met Arlene Galanka. She's still my friend. In fact, she's setting up the Michael Kidd. It's called Dancers Over 40. We call it Dancers Over 80 because a lot of us are really advanced. But it's a archival thing for Lincoln Center of great choreographers. So it's Nicole, who's still one of my best friends. It's so interesting. I kept all these pals from my dancing days. Anyway, you were talking about something. Oh, Nicole, who said, Valerie, it's so interesting with the show. Mary is who you wish you were. Rhoda is who you probably are. And Phyllis is who you're afraid you'll become. It's a great little adage, and I think that is true. I think Rhoda Morgenstern appealed to people because all of us, men, women, gay, straight, black, white, young, old, knew that they felt like Rhoda felt at some time in their life, and that most of us are just trying to get through, and bumping into life and our families and our work. And Mary had a career, Rhoda had jobs. I think she was every woman to a greater degree than Mary. And I think I don't know if I've gone on too long about her. And her being New Yorker, had a wonderful accent, and I've always found when I play a character that the sound of them is very important, and then the way they move. You want to get the total person. It's not thought out. It's more organic. So how they sound is always very important. And she had her own particular sound and parlance, and I loved her too. I liked her a lot, and I loved playing her.